Like I said, most of you pharmacists will probably owe 24%. You want to give a quarter of your money to the government? No. We got to switch that up. Welcome back to another episode of Finance Friday. And today we are going to be talking about one of the more controversial options when it comes to the 5 accounts that you need to have as a high net worth individual. I'm talking if you're a doctor. I'm talking about if you're a physician. You got to have these accounts, all right? And this one's one of the most controversial ones, but it's important that you have it because we got to get you within the right tax bracket. So what I'm talking about today will be the 401ks and the 403bs. This is retirement planning. But the reason why I really want you to invest in this is not even for retirement. It's not even for retirement. The reason why you need to have a 401k or 403b and contribute money to it is to help lower your taxes. Because if you are a high net worth individual, you could be paying anywhere between 24 to 35% in taxes. You could be paying a quarter of your money in taxes. So that $100,000 that you thought you made, you really only made 75 after taxes. So this is why it's important to have some accounts that can help you when it comes to tax time. So what do I mean by this? For the 2024 tax brackets, according to the IRS info, what they have here is that if you are a single filer and you make over $100,000 and $526, so $100,526, your tax rate is 24%. Now, if you start making $192,000, your tax rate is 32%. That is like a third of your income. And then if you make over $243,000, you're looking at 35% tax hit. That is crazy high, okay? Now, most of us in pharmacy, you'll probably range in the tax rate of 24%, which is between $100,000 to $191,000. That's probably where you're going to range. All right. So 24%. Now, the next lowest bracket is 22%, which means you need to do the best that you can to lower your taxable income to get into this 22% bracket. Now, I know what you're thinking. It's only 2%. Do a calculation. Do the math. See how much 2% becomes over 40 years, over 30 years of your time working. And you also have to think about it, 2% of how much you made. Not just 2% of $10, 2% of $100,000. All right, so let's just do the math on that right now. So 2% of $100,000 puts you at $2,000. And if you times that by 30 years of work, that's $60K you gave to the IRS that you probably could have kept just by being a little bit more strategic when it comes to your accounts. That's all I'm asking you to do. So with the 401k and the 403b, these are your retirement planning options. And there's a traditional and a Roth version. Today, I want to focus on that traditional version. We already discussed 2 of the accounts that you need to have already. This is going to be part 3 of 5 of the accounts that you need to have as a high net worth individual. Part 1, we already talked about the power of a Roth IRA, that after-tax benefit. We already talked about the power for part 2. We talked about the power of a high yield savings account. But right here, part 3, we need to talk about how to lower them taxes. Whew. 24%. Like I said, most of you pharmacists will probably owe 24%. You want to give a quarter of your money to the government? No. We got to switch that up. So the way you can do this is by putting some of your money into a traditional 401k or 403b. The difference between the two is what type of employer you work for. So right now I work for a for-profit company. So that means I have the ability to contribute to a 401k. Now, I previously worked for a nonprofit company. If you work for a nonprofit company, that means your retirement plan would be a 403b. That's all it is. 403b is for nonprofit companies or nonprofit hospitals, and 401ks are ones that are for profit. That's the only difference. Now, there are different types, traditional and Roth. What we're focusing on today is the traditional 401k and the traditional 403b. Because if you contribute your money to a traditional retirement planning account, that is pre-tax dollars. So let's just say, for example, you make $106,000 a year. Actually, let's go higher. Let's just say, for example, you make $115,000 a year. That would put you at the 24% tax bracket. If you contribute $15,000 to your traditional 401k or 403b, that's going to go before tax, which means 115 minus 15,000 now puts you at 100,000, which means your tax bracket went from 24% to 22%. And we already said 2% of $100,000 is $2,000. So would you like to keep $2,000 this year, or would you like to give it to the IRS? The choice is yours. Okay? So one of the most powerful vehicles that you could have are accounts that can help lower your tax bracket. So with a 401k, with a 403b, according to the IRS website, for the year 2024, this is the year 2024, you can contribute up to $23,000. So that means if you're making $123,000 and you contribute $23,000 to your 401k, you just went from a 24% tax bracket to a 22% tax bracket, and now you get to save $2,000. That's the power of tax-deferred accounts. That is the reason why any certified financial planner that you go to will tell you it is important for you to max out your 401k or your 403b when you are a high net worth individual, because that can help you get to the next tax bracket so you're not having to pay as much. Another good example would be, let's say you make $200,000. If you make $200,000 a year, you're going to have to give a third of that money to the government. You're at a 32% tax hit. 32. You can get all the way down to 24. You could save 8% of your money just by contributing to a 401k or a 403b. Let's say you make $200,000 and you decide to contribute $10K. Now that puts you at $190,000, which is in the 24% tax bracket. You just saved 8% in taxes. And not just any 8%, we're talking 8% of $200,000. So let's do the math on that. What is that? $16,000? You just saved $16K by contributing $10,000 to your 401k. You got to do it. Whether you like it or not, you got to do it. If you are a high net worth individual, you're most likely going to have to contribute to your 401k or 403b in order to get into a lower tax bracket, so you're not getting these massive tax hits at the end of the year and you're having to pay back $5, $6, $7, $8, $9, $10,000. Ridiculous amount of money. Ridiculous amount of money. So you need to be strategic, okay? And if you need assistance with this, this is something that I love talking to people about, right? Maybe you need to pick somebody's brain. Maybe I can help you out. Sign up today, tinyurl.com/capsulerx services. Sign up for the wealth consultation. I do one completely free for 30 minutes. I absolutely love doing this stuff for fun. So I do it completely free for 30 minutes. And I do know some CFPs. And if you like to get connected with them, I could possibly help you with that. But at the end of the day, if once you have the knowledge up here, you can probably execute yourself. All right. You probably already signed up for your 401k. And if you didn't, your company probably automatically made you do it if you didn't designate no. And another thing is when it comes to the 401k, when it comes to the 403b, it's going to help with retirement plan. So you're saving on taxes now and you're able to start having money planned for retirement because you don't want to be working forever. Eventually you want to retire. And if you're a high net worth individual like myself, then you don't plan on working until you're 65. You probably want to be retired somewhere between 50 and 60, which is completely possible. And one of the things that could help you is by contributing to a 401k or a 403b.
Everybody tells you that you need to invest, but you don't know where to go or what to do. Do not worry. We are here to make it simple. Sign up today for a 30-minute free wealth consultation at tinyurl.com/capsulerxservices. Also, if you have student loan issues, your payments are high, you maybe need some help with getting a lower payment plan, something I actually helped a physician do is go from $2,200 monthly payments to $200 monthly payments, all right? Able to save $2,000 a month by doing a little trick that most people don't know. So if you want me to possibly help you out with your student loan payment strategy, or if you want to learn about different investment strategies and you just want it to be simplified and made easy, please feel free to sign up today at tinyurl.com/capsulerxservices for a free wealth consultation.
Now, a common question that I get is, how much should I contribute? At the bare minimum, you need to contribute enough. I repeat, at the bare minimum, you need to contribute enough to get the company match. I've worked for companies where they match 3%. I've worked for companies where they match 4%. So you best believe at the bare minimum, I contributed at least 4%, or I contributed at least 3%. Whatever that company's match is, that is literally free money. So at the very least, you need to match your company dollar for dollar. So if it's 3%, you're going to contribute 3%. That's what you're going to elect. Now, if you want to do more tax saving methods, that's going to cause you to do a little bit of calculations and a little bit of math. If you need assistance with that, once again, sign up today, tinyurl.com/capsulerxservices. We're here to make finances easy. I love doing this stuff. It's not that complicated. I'm telling you, it's really not that complicated. It's simple. You just haven't learned it yet. And that's why you're listening to this. This is part 3 of 5. 3 of 5 of the 5 finance accounts you gotta own as a high net worth individual. I'm talking pharmacists, doctors, PAs, nurse practitioners, people who are getting a lot of money. You gotta have these accounts. You gotta have a Roth IRA. You gotta have a high yield savings account. And today we're talking about the 401k and 403b. It is a must have to help you when it comes to tax time. You gotta do it. And when it comes to the 401k and the 403b, once you elect it, the next thing you have to do is elect where you want to invest the money. The most common method that you'll probably hear is target date funds. I'm not a fan of target date funds. I do not recommend it. Some people like it. Some people love it. But I feel like it's a little too conservative. I believe you could probably do better with something that tracks the S&P 500, or you could probably do better with a growth ETF. But it all depends on your portfolio. Because if you've been listening to this, that means you already started with your Roth IRA. So depending on the type of investments you have on your Roth IRA, you want to counterbalance that with your 401k, because your Roth IRA is a retirement account. Your 401k and 403b is a retirement account. So you want to make sure that you have a balanced portfolio. And the way to do that is to make sure your investments are not all the same in all the accounts that you own. And so if you need a little bit of assistance and you need a little bit of guidance on which accounts to invest in, which ones I recommend, if you like to have an open discussion, you already know what you have to do. Sign up today, tinyurl.com/capsulerxservices. It's completely free. I'm talking a 30-minute wealth consultation because I absolutely love doing this stuff. I have a minor in business. I'm debating if I want to get a CFP license because I love doing this stuff so much. Maybe I could do it on the side, but hey, I'm here to help. We're here to make finances easy. And I'm telling you, if you want to pay a bunch of money in taxes, anywhere between $2,000 to $16,000 in taxes, then don't listen to me. Don't listen to this episode. Just don't. Don't contribute to your 401k. Don't contribute to your 403b. Just don't. Give the money to the IRS. And then if you wonder why me or other people are able to go on trips, live lavishly, have a great lifestyle, have a great quality of life, now you know why. Because you didn't want to take the time to implement some of the things that I'm discussing on this episode to help you when it comes to tax time, where you could keep that money and go on a nice trip in the summer. Because you got to remember, tax day comes in April. Tax day comes in the spring. So when they come asking for that $2,000 to $10,000, and that was supposed to be your vacation money, sorry, buddy, should have listened. But that's it for today's episode. If you want any more insight, you know what you have to do. Thank you guys so much for listening. You can find us on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn. We're everywhere, man. We're not hiding from anybody. You can find us on all platforms, okay? And even on the podcast side, you can find us streaming on all platforms, all right? Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Spotify. We're everywhere, baby. We're everywhere. So thank you guys so much for listening. Help us help you make finances easy. It's another episode of Finance Friday, part 3 of the 5 accounts that you need to have as a high net worth individual. And coming up will be part 4 and part 5. So part 4 will be focused on a health savings account. Part 4 will be about health savings account, and part 5 will be about having your own individual brokerage account that you can invest in to make sure that you're doing well in the intermedium between now and retirement. Because you can't only invest for retirement. Like I said, you'll probably retire before 65. If you're a high net worth individual, you probably want to be done somewhere between 50 to 60 years old. You're not waiting till 65 or 67 or whatever timeline or time frame that they're saying now is retirement. They keep pushing it back. It used to be 65, then it became 66. I think now it's 67. By the time I'm like 50, it'll probably be 72 or 73. I'm not waiting that long to retire and enjoy my life. But if you want to, then by all means, don't listen to this episode. Won't hurt my feelings. Only hurt your life. Later.